Welcome to SunnySpeaks, here again with another review for you, and you. And today, I'm here to talk about Piece by Piece, directed by Morgan Neville and starring Pharrell Williams and many other legends in the hip hop industry. This movie is about Pharrell as he goes from being a boy in Virginia Beach trying to find his way to becoming the icon, fashion icon, artist genius that we all know today. First off, the best thing about this movie and the coolest thing about it is that it's a biopic, but it's Legos. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, that is a dope idea. I absolutely love that. And it works so well with this movie because being an artist myself, it's creating things that aren't real yet, creating stuff in your head and then trying to make it real. And so having that then be shown in this animation way with Legos and having the Legos be sometimes be the instrumentals and just like showing like just like little Legos like making music. It's such a invigorating thing, honestly. It's very inspired, very cool to look at. And something I told my friend when we were leaving the theater was that I love stop motion animation, and obviously we're in 2024, so it's not completely that. There's still CG and stuff, but I think it's a cool bridge that Lego movies create, where it is like stop motion while also being CG, and stop motion is really a dying animation style, and so I absolutely appreciate that those are still around and that movies like this are created. And Lego movies are just beautiful, and this is one of the most beautiful ones to me, in message, but also in visuals as well. And yeah, this being a biopic while also being Legos is really cool. Doing some research, I saw that this movie used real interview footage and documentary footage, and then put the Lego set pieces based on that, which I think is also really cool. And I definitely could tell. I was like, how would they be able to do this just with voice acting? So I thought that was pretty interesting, and just added another element to the film that I really appreciated. I think the first and second act are a lot stronger than the last one because this movie is based in it, one, he becomes an adult, so there are adult things that happen, and it is real life. And it is the hip hop industry, which is not always for kids, but this is a children's movie. So I feel like the first and second act was able to make it palatable for kids while also giving nods to adults. But by the third act, as things become just a little bit more serious and more dire for Pharrell as a character, I felt like it kind of, you feel the absence of certain things and feel the less of explanation, especially when it comes to Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo as two halves of the Neptunes, which is a big part of this and their rise and what they did in the 2000s. I felt like that could have been explored a little bit more, but I understand why they didn't do that because, or they didn't do it as much as they could have, because that probably was just stuff that it would have just been harder for kids to grasp, or at least to have it still be for everybody. So the first two acts I think are very well done and easy to follow and enjoyable for all ages. And by the third, I feel like it kind of just becomes more of a just like visual set piece with some cool music rather than the story that you're following before, but still being good. But just not as good as the first two acts to me. My friend had said that seeing black people as Legos was just really cool, and I completely agree. I think it's really cool to just see that. Like, there are many different races in this movie. It's a very diverse cast of people because that's Pharrell's life. But yeah, seeing a bunch of different black people as Legos was something I never thought I needed to see, but absolutely enjoyed and really appreciated. Just seeing, my people being Lego pieces. It was really, really cool. The Snoop Dogg scene was definitely a standout for me. That was probably my favorite joke. And again, was something that was palatable for kids while also being a little nod to adults and stuff like that. So really love seeing black people as Legos, and a given great music throughout. It's really cool to, not really being fully familiar with the Neptunes myself. It's really cool to see like the work that they did in the 2000s and like how impactful they were, and really just understanding the gravity of their artistry at the time, and that lends itself to a really great musical score for the movie. Music that was made for the movie by Pharrell, but all the music that himself and Chad Hugo made as the Neptunes in their run in the 2000s and late 90s, I believe. Yeah, it was really cool to hear that and to get that kind of like history breakdown because hip hop history is very interesting. And Pharrell and Chad Hugo, when you talk about hip hop history, you have to talk about those two. So overall, to me, I think this was a solid movie. Has its flaws here and there. Is I think that this movie, for what it is, for what it's trying to do, and for any artist, I think is incredibly inspiring. And for me as an artist myself, I think that it's something that I definitely took things from and was able to be inspired just by looking at the colors and seeing how artistry inspire somebody else who made it. And I definitely think that any artist should watch this movie to be inspired, and anybody could watch this in general just to watch a film and enjoy it. So I would give this movie rating a partly sunny. I think it's good with some flaws, but overall I would recommend it to anybody really. So yeah, that has been my review of Piece by Piece. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time or if you've been here before, and I will be back again. So peace.